Well, indeed, the first one is Satin Creditcare. Now, the company recently received about 15 crores under the Assam government's microfinance incentive scheme. Do note, this government scheme aims to provide financial support to the microfinance borrowers in Assam. To discuss this and much more, we're now joined by HP Singh, Chairman and MD at Satin Creditcare. Mr. Singh, afternoon. This is Reema here. The first question is, this 15 crore that you've received, what was the borrowing amount? Did you lend higher and you've received only 15 crores in return? And is there an element of write-off in it? So maybe you lent about 100 crores, you've received about 15 crore of incentive, but there is still some amount which has not been returned. Can you just explain what's happened on this front?
Yeah, sure. So this is the first tranche of the Category 3 borrowers which has been given by the Assam government to the MFIs. Now, what this means is that whatever balance of 25,000 rupees a loan, which was there as on March 31st, 2021, whatever was the overdue amount, that has been paid by the Assam government to the MFIs. So this is the first tranche where 25,000 rupees, whatever has been the overdue amount of the borrower, that has been actually been paid by the state government to the MFI. So this is just the overdue amount which has probably come in.
Okay, so the entire amount has come in is what you're telling us. How much more has been lent in the state that is eligible for such relief payments?
So overall, if we look at the total outflow of overdues which have been there, that is what the government will probably do it in the further tranches which will come in, as this was the first tranche. So the total overdue is close to about 150 to 175 crores. And this is the first tranche which is coming. The further tranches will have different matrix in terms of how they will be repaid back. But I think this is a very positive sign that the first tranche has come in fact, under the Category 3. So we are very hopeful that the balance amount and whatever filters, whatever I think overdues which they stand in terms of the repayment which will probably come in, I think that will be given by the state government to the MFIs.
So just to understand, Mr. Singh, out of the total overdue amount in the state of Assam, which is 150 to 175 crore, you have received 15 crore in the first tranche and you're hopeful about getting the balance. Has there been any communication from the government about the balance and when it could come through?
So the MOU was signed, I think probably about a year and a half back with the state government. Our sense is that if the first category and the first tranche has probably been received, we are very hopeful that the balance will also be received. This was taking a longer period of time to do it in terms of the data exchange which was happening with the state government and the credit bureaus. Once the first tranche has come in, I think we are very hopeful that the balance tranches will also come in the near future.
MOU state, there must be certain conditions, right, attached to getting that incentive or getting the money back from the government. So just wanted to understand how likely that you will be able to recover the entire overdue amount. What does the MOU state?
So the MOU states that whatever overdues, so they had few categories which were broken into whatever the customer had actually repaid their whole amount. So that was a subsidy which was given to the borrowers directly. That was category 1 which happened, There are no typical conditions as such. It is all dependent on what the overdue amount has been and what has been the loss in terms of overdues with the borrower, with the MFIs as such. And that is the only data which is probably looked at with the way they want to actually compensate the MFIs based on the overdues of the borrowers in terms of whatever loan they had got. So they are not preconditions or there are no any conditions which are there. It is all dependent on the data which is being filtered by the state government and the credit bureaus to get the final amount to the MFIs.
Okay, so that is something that we'll be tracking closely as well when the rest of the money is received as well by MFIs and Satin Creditcare. You also mentioned the press release that you are pleased to share that the new portfolio in Assam is also performing exceptionally well. Can you first tell us what is the proportion coming in from Assam in your overall book? And when you say it's performing well, what kind of growth rates are you looking at in terms of disbursals?
So what I stated in the press release is very candid and very clear. Whatever we've disbursed post this MOU and before even the tranches were whatever we dispersed close to about 200 to 250 crores in Assam. We practically have negligible portfolio at risk, which actually bodes very well in terms of the credit culture which the borrowers have across in the state of Assam, And that is the reason why we said that even though the first tranche came in probably a little late, we've been disbursing since the last 1 year or so in Assam. And whatever portfolio quality we've maintained across over there, there's absolutely no risk. In fact, the GNPAs in Assam is close to zero. That is how the portfolio is behaving in Assam, whatever we disbursed in the last 1 year and about 3 months or so.
Mr. Singh, this overdue amount of 150 crore, has it been already written off and now there will be a reversal of that?
This has been provided for in the balance
sheet.
It's
been provided. Okay.
It's been provided. Yes, it has been.
Okay. So we spoke when you reported your Q1 numbers. Just want to understand how Q2 has been. Are you on track to achieve that 25% growth target that you had in terms of growth this year? What has been the collection ratio?
So I think we are on target to achieve this guidance of 25% plus. In fact, that is what I've been saying regularly and repeatedly. The way the demand is coping up and the way the demand is coming up in the rural sector, I think, we'll probably be overachieving our guidance also. In terms of collection efficiencies and the GNPAs, I think we are again on track of delivering better GNPAs, and collection efficiency are close to about 99% or so. So which actually bodes, completely in the full loop as such. The disbursements are looking up. The collection efficiencies are very stable. The GNPAs are probably on a lower side the way we move forward. So I think, everything is on a positive scale, and that's what bodes well for the MFI industry as well as for us.
So one number answer, what would your gross NPA stand at by the end of this year?
I can't actually give you a figure, but, our GNPA were about 2.5% in the June quarter. I think it'll be better than that, what we reported in June.
Okay. All right, Mr. Singh, thank you so much for joining us and detailing the business outlook and what's happening in Assam's portfolio as well. We'll step into a short break. Up next, Shashank Agrawal from Salasat Techno Engineering will join in to discuss their business outlook.